Good morning, 9 o'clock a.m. on the Pacific time zone, January 8th, 2025. Yeah, let's see. Did I get an audio check here? Yeah, there it is. And I think I had, volume was pretty low. That's why it was quiet for me. Pop out chat. Okay, it's a Wednesday. John Williams, hello and good morning to everyone. Good morning to you, John Williams. Martin Hogg, delighting to voice my frustration related to poor design of a Lenovo laptop battery replacement. It's a B5050. I guess that's the model number. This needs keyboard and entire base removal. I'm going to test SpeakerBot here. My own self.
Yes, affirmative.
And yes, I saw the audio indicator. It said you heard that, you heard that. Now, interesting point about the laptops. This is my laptop, the Zen Aero, and I think it was last week where we were troubleshooting blue screens on it, wound up concluding there was some memory issues where it was sold claiming 12 gigabytes of memory and the computer itself claimed 16 gigabytes of memory, and we suspect that it is lying to us about how much memory there is. And that's why MemTest 86 produces errors. Well, it's my own laptop and it doesn't give me problems very often. But here's the thing about it is it conveniently has an access panel for the NVMe SSD. The Dell laptop that I was working on recently to prepare for a client, it does not have any access panels to access anything, and it was the business edition. In the past, we've seen the business edition of Dell computers and HP computers for that matter be more business convenient, so that IT department could easily access things. It used to be that, well, back in the days of spinning drives, they had an access panel on the side that you could just slide the drive out. So that computer, that Dell computer, was heavier than this one. It was very, very similar design for the texturing on the lid. I mean, almost like they're related to each other. The keyboard was very similar, and I was disappointed, frankly, that the business class of Dell laptop wasn't more convenient to work on. But I understand this bit. I've been through that before about a laptop battery having to really do a pretty major disassembly to replace the battery. Hello, Alice. Stephanie Pearl is ski man on his wife's laptop. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thanks for mentioning that, because Stephanie came in as a moderator, showing as a moderator, and I would have been scratching my head thinking, I don't remember Stephanie Pearl, because he doesn't come on very often with that name, I don't think. Conversation between Stephanie and Ken. Ski man's got some tight chest issues and a buddy coming over. I hope you feel better soon. Let's see what else we got here. Ken Stout voiced a frustration. I'm deducing. He made a comment last night on his show that implied he was disappointed that I didn't redirect to him. Well, if you don't schedule your shows before my show time regularly, I'm not going to bother looking. So I'm a little bit frustrated back at him. But anyway, he says his nightly one he's planning to do tonight, but it's not scheduled. Now, when I modified the thumbnail this morning to add that another day in paradise, after I modified that thumbnail, that would have been a good time to have the Phil Collins song as a trailer. I think I want to make a trailer for that. Zavi Minor, hello. John Williams. Let's see. Ran Israel, hello. I'm kind of breezing through here a little bit. Ken Stout. would you be available to host a Zoom session on your Zoom after my show is over today? If you are, I'd like to invite the Zoom homies to come in. There's an idea I'd like to discuss with you all. And particularly, I'm hoping that Brian Lightfoot can be present and Chris Garrett. I haven't seen Chris Garrett yet in chat. So yeah, I'm looking for a response from you, Ken Stout. I changed my password to incorrect. So whenever I forget what it is, the computer will say your password is incorrect. Do we believe he really did that, or is this just Brian giving us a joke? Okay. One, if in chat, if you think he actually did that. 0 in chat if you think that he's just giving us a joke and he didn't really change his password. My internet router is in my basement. You could say that I come from a land down under. I see a couple zeros coming in that they think he just is doing a joke. I see some 2s coming in. I'm not sure what the 2 is for. Oh, it jumped on me. Close your eyes if this bouncing up and down bothers you. Jeff Ryman, hello. It is Woodin's Day. I do not know what that is. Yes, it is Woodin's Day. Is that in response to something else? I don't know. I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to try to puzzle that one out. Patrick Randall, hello. Richard Rogers, hello. Speaking of Dell, they're retiring their existing brand names. Latitude plus XPS to something else. Getting rid of those.
Read chat, please.
How about that? All right, I'll get to this read chat. Greg M., how long has someone here been using mini PC? This is for business. I've had mini PCs in clients' offices.
Read chat, please.
Probably since, I want to say March of 2024. And no complaints. Absolutely 0 complaints. Woodin was a Norse god. Woodin's Day is the source of the name Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday, wood. W-O-D got changed to W-E-D, or is it a more nuanced translation? Wednesday is named after Woodin, the Anglo-Saxon name for Odin. Odin, Woden, the Norse god of wisdom, war, luck, royal power, and rune power, or just hump day. Danielle Emberley debated on using virtual machines for TurboTax in order to maintain access to older installations, but not sure I want to go there. I have your email queued up to respond to during today's show, Danielle. So hold tight.
Read chat, please.
Who is the official B link on Amazon? There are 3 sellers with B link in their name. Oh, interesting. Now I skipped over some stuff that hit me in orange. Show is scheduled for Ken. Yes, it runs 48.96, so sure, no problem. Don't have any idea what that is in reference to. Have a client with an old desktop with yet another failed power supply, thinking of a B-Link computer used for email and web browsing. I'm completely happy with them for that level of usage. Okay, so I got a few things to go deal with to follow up on comments so far. I will refresh my YouTube studio, which that will bring in the possibility of redirecting to Ken's evening show. There it is. And save that. So the fix is in, Ken Stout. I don't really trust myself for always checking on those, so please feel free to let me know in chat that you've got it scheduled. And that justifies an exclamation mark C. I have a show scheduled. That would be sufficient. Then the question about B-Link on Amazonian. I think I like that. I want to call it Amazonian instead of Amazon. Okay. I'm bringing up. She said there's 3 of them that have the name B-Link. Let's see. This one I've purchased before. So let me go see what that shows. I see this visit B-Link store. So that would be my way of answering that. Sold by Alex B-Link. Oh, I see that. That is, I think, what he's implying, that there's 3 of them that give that designation. I have not been paying any attention to that. So at the moment, I don't have an answer for you on that. I will pay attention to that. What I would do to judge that was look at this number up here where it says, I can't move my mouse all the way to the left, but a little bit more to the left and a little bit below my mouse. Oh, you know what I could do is this, I bet. Do I get an orange dot here? That's not what I tried to bring up. Should be Alt 2. There we go. Red dot. 4.5 rating and 95 responses. So I would
Read chat,
compare
please.
them for the higher number of responses and number of stars. And then I would look at the comments regarding that somebody gives, that people give. That's how I would go about judging that. Here in Canada, there are B-Link Direct, B-Link PC, and B-Link Official. Could somebody just put up an Amazon store and call themselves B-Link Official? Does that name actually solve it? But thanks for pointing that out. Wasn't aware of that at all. Yes. Now I got to figure out what is he responding yes to in that string of comments. I got to go back and figure out, what did I say that he's responding yes to? Is some variation there? Does B-Link Official, see, if you would say B-Link Official could be somebody pretending, is that what you're saying yes to be B-Link Official? Could they actually create a store and call themselves B-Link Official? Is that what you're saying yes to? I don't know unless you give me more words. Yes, you can call yourself any. That's what I need. That's what I need. Yes, on Amazon, you can call yourself anything. That would have even been more informative. I know it's frustrating for you when I don't understand what you're trying to say, but you haven't experienced my side of the camera. I truly have no way of knowing, so I need more words. I know it's a pain in the derriere. Can I say derriere on YouTube? I haven't seen Chris Garrett. Is he here? Let's see. I think we should go for Danielle's question since she's brought that up in chat. See, I was thinking that from her email that it wasn't that pressing of an issue, and that's why I didn't respond to it in a prior session. I thought it was, your wording on your email sounded like it was just a curiosity. So I'm going to bring it up here and hide your email address. I have not used virtual machines myself. If you review the post, I would appreciate your comments on virtual machines and ease of use. I did go look at this when I first got your email. I saw a very interesting Reddit post this morning. I'll tell you when this was, so that you have a little bit of reference. It was 4 days ago. So I've been putting this off 4 days because I did not realize it was an actual pending issue that you wanted to get answered. I saw a very interesting Reddit post this morning where the author in detail talks about the complexities of using older tax years of the TurboTax download Windows software. I'm often surprised when people minimize the difficulties associated with reinstalling application software. Oh, wow, I'm right with you there. The post is well written, and I believe there's a lot to be learned by reviewing it. Now, in regards to TurboTax, I had one client who had a lot of years of TurboTax, and I got her a new machine and asked her, do you want all these reinstalled? She said yes. So we had all of the installation media on her computer. We never delete those. I never delete that kind of stuff. I put it in a special holding place. I think we had like, I don't know, 12 years worth. So I installed them in order. And that's an important thing when you're installing obsolete software, is install them in chronological order. It may or may not be an issue. And I think with TurboTax it is. The post is well written, and I believe there's a lot to be learned by reviewing it. Now, I have, however, learned since then some contraindications that there should be some caution. So I'll get to that later. The author also recommends the author use the software in virtual machine and lists reasons for doing so. This is Danielle's main point, is it a good idea to do these in virtual machines? I would prefer to, if I'm setting it up for a client, to do it in a normal computer environment, not virtual machine, unless the end user is already comfortable with virtual machines. To use virtual machines for a person who has learned the environment, is comfortable with it, understands the advantages and disadvantages, the limitations, subjects of updates, that would be okay for a person who's really comfortable with virtual environments. I would not want to set it up for an end user that I then need to train them for how to use it, because they will not, in my opinion, retain that. I mean, particularly in the areas of accounting, people who do tax returns, I find them to usually not be very computer technical literate, not very quick to grasp that. I see that read chat from Bobby Warren. He's just saying, hey, Doug. Bobby, that's a little bit too liberal use for read chat, please. You're interrupting me to say hello. No, that's not a good way to use read chat. I'm often surprised when people minimize. All right, the post is well written. The author recommends author use the software and virtual machine, lists reasons for doing so. There's a lot of good points in the post, meaning reasons to use virtual machine. Again, only if the end user is comfortable with virtual machine. That's really responding to my comments about virtual machines and ease of use. It is easy to use when you have that, how to use it on front of mind. Front of mind. Now, you've seen me install virtual machines here, and people in the chat room kind of walked me through it. When I go back to try to bring that up again, and I'm a tech person, right? And it's been months since I've done anything in there. It's a little bit of a struggle that to get my head back into it. So I don't think it's a good thing for a non-technical person. From online posts, I see there's a lot of users that encounter difficulty if something happens when they need to return to a Windows download product from a previous tax year. Now, I've done a lot of installations of products that have, new versions each year, and I find that their websites, when it is valid to do so, provide the capability of downloading those recent versions. TurboTax only goes back for a few years to download them. If a person is needing to actually file back taxes for prior years, they should not, I can't emphasize this enough, in my opinion, they should not be using a TurboTax return filing person. I'm slow to call them professional. I've never come across a CPA who uses TurboTax. TurboTax is a bookkeeper level of helping somebody file their taxes for rather simple tax returns. Any complex tax return should be using a CPA. If you have delinquent taxes for back years that you have not filed, you should not be using a TurboTax person. You should be using preferably not just a CPA, but a CPA who specializes in back taxes, delinquent taxes. In researching this subject after receiving Danielle's email, I found a video out there of a CPA who specializes in delinquent taxes, back taxes. And she told the story about somebody who did exactly what's being described here. They went and filed 12 years worth of tax returns. When this specialist got involved and contacted IRS directly, IRS said, "Why on earth did you file beyond 6 years?" They were irritated that somebody had filed more than 6 years of back taxes, and the IRS person explained to this back tax specialist, "We only care about the last 6 years. We don't want to look back beyond that. But now that you filed those, we have to do that." And the person whose taxes was filed was hit with an extra $200,000 of taxes that they owed because they filed more returns than IRS wants you to file. If you're that far delinquent, they only want the last 6 years. Now, I had no idea about this. I'm not a tax professional. I don't quote me on this, but if you want to know where that is, ask for it in a video comment, and I'll go find that for you and give it to you in another episode. Okay, so I've already spent enough time on this. I've given my opinion about this. I did look through this link. I will copy the link, copy link address, and if anyone wants to go read that, you can. Regarding virtual machines or old versions, old TurboTax. I don't know if I'm going to be able to paste this because it's kind of a long link. Yeah, see, it's too long. So I'm gonna delete this stuff at the beginning so that the whole thing will fit. Regarding virtual machines. So there I should be able to get it. I'm not going to go read through it during the show because I think it's just more than we need to get to, but that's my response. Daniel was actually asking about my opinion about virtual machines. I do not think you should be setting that up for a user who's not already comfortable with virtual machines and training them how to do it. They will not retain that, in my opinion. And installing old versions of something like that on a real machine, that's fine. It works. I read through the points, the reasons for it, and I would only consider those valid for a person who is comfortable with virtual machines. Okay, while I'm on emails from regular participants, let me get this one for Sin Vicious. I've got an email from Sin Vicious. I'm not going to be able to show all of it without concealing his email address, so I'll just read what he says. Is, I think uBlock Origin got rid of the pesky scam from Microsoft. It was an advertisement, so now I get emails. It's too suspect to even click on it. So I'm going to show you this email that he got. It's from January 7th, so yesterday. Sin Vicious, are you in chat? If not, I'll be replying to him by email with a link to this point in the video. The subject says, all your files are deleted today. He is here. Great. All your files are deleted today. I want to point out in this email that he received, there's a lot of conflicting claims. And this is a problem. This is to our benefit and our convenience. This is something that the scammers are doing. They're just not very good, but they're going to get better. You can count on it, but this shows where they're not very good still. All your files are deleted today. What it says down here is Cloud Inc. Hello, Sin. Your cloud storage is full. That's a different complaint. Your cloud storage is full is absolutely no reason at all for all your files to be deleted today. This is the sense of urgency they're trying to get, but they're tipping their hand here. These are two conflicting issues. Does not make sense at all. We've issued multiple warnings. Well, that's probably not true, but it could be that this isn't his first one. but there's been no response and now your data is at serious risk. But I've seen the scams a lot of times saying, we've tried to say and contact you multiple times when they haven't. Okay, that's pretty easy to see through that and get your radar up that this is a scam. If this problem isn't addressed within the next 24 hours, now wait a minute, you said my files are deleted today. Now you're giving me 24 hours. Crucial services may be interrupted. You're not saying my files are going to be deleted. You're going to say services interrupted. That's different. Your SIM card, that's totally different than cloud storage. Photos, contacts, important data could be permanently deleted. Your SIM card deleted? That just does not make any sense at all. It's not consistent with the rest of this message. This is your final warning. Your account has been flagged for critical security risks. Now you're bouncing to security risks. What is it? Is it that it's full, or that they're changing their story again as far as what they're complaining about? And your personal data is in immediate danger. Now, save my data now plus 50 gigabytes free. Just total conflicting, does not make sense at all. But you got to read the detail. A lot of times people just see the big message and make an urgent response. Thank you for managing your cloud account. Stay safe. Have a nice day. Cloud team. What a total lousy written thing. Then they give us copyright 2025. Cloud Storage Inc. All rights reserved. Your privacy is our priority. So don't let some random YouTuber display this email on their YouTube show. Oh, then down here. To be removed, please unsubscribe here. Do not do that. It is fine to unsubscribe from spam. Legitimate companies that are sending you advertisement. I like to click unsubscribe for them. But this is scam. One letter difference. Big difference in how you interact with them. A scam message, you should never unsubscribe, because what that does is it tells them you are a live person who is actually looking at the email. And therefore, that means they could send you other emails and anticipate that you're going to look at them also. If you click unsubscribe, they're just going to say, okay, you didn't fall for that one, so we're going to need to give you a more clever scam. And you'll be elevated to a higher level technician. All right. Thank you for sending that, Sin Vicious and Danielle Emberly. Such a scam, as opposed to such a Doug. Doug hasn't seen my messages yet. You need an exclamation mark C, exclamation mark, and then your message doesn't cut it. So exclamation mark C, space, and then type your message would be the way to get my attention. If you're interested in an update, I'll be glad to tell you guys. Hey, Doug and everyone else, if this is an inappropriate icon, no, that's fine. My apologies. I really need smaller eyes. Smaller eyes on that? I don't know. I'm going to go look at your channel activity so I can see if you had any more. Let's see, this is today, so you only have 3 messages. I guess that's all you got. If you're interested in an update, I think yes, definitely interested in an update, because you had some issue that we recently dealt with, and I'm not remembering what it was. Brian, sass and sad. Did I get a response from Ken Stout? Are you able to host a Zoom session after my show today? And Brian Lightfoot, are you able to attend? And Chris Garrett and any other Zoom homies?
Yes, affirmative.
Ken Stout says yes, he can do that. So I got that message. Yeah, any other Zoom homies? Idea I have that I'd like for your assistance with, if you're available. And if you're not able to watch that, I'm going to ask Ken Stout to record the session so we can replay it for Zoom homies later. Doesn't it? John, our good
Read
friend
chat,
Google
please.
says Phil Collins did pen that song. We're getting close to shutdown time. Doug, did you buy a B-Link Mini PC S12 for email, etc.? It's an N100. Yes, absolutely. Well, actually, not only email, etc., but I have that B100 in at end user's desk in business environment in, I think, maybe 6, maybe 8 of them, and using them for a law office with email and a bunch of other stuff, with locally installed programs, with server and programs, with network printers, with scanning, with lots of things. They're all happy with. I haven't had any complaints with them. I have followed up with each of them, and all of them report that they're way better than their old computers. But keep in mind, their old computers were in many cases 8 to 10-year-old HP towers. So going to these HP minis is a pretty big step up for them. But I've done a comparison with a end user who had a B-Link i5 computer. And then I swapped them down to a B-Link N100. And the user said, if you didn't tell me you changed it, I would not have known. I did a image backup and image restore. So it looks identical to them. And they could tell no difference at all between the N100 and the i5. Very happy with them. Zvi Menor, almost all the mini P sync in the link with Windows 11. So I guess he's got an Amazon search here with, yeah, I would put a lot of credence, a lot of reliance into that link from Zvi for a convenient way to look at or compare B-Link computers. Now, one thing that is on my list for B-Link computers is when I get them in pretty quickly, I want to test all the ports. I did have one of the low-cost computers come in. I don't think it was B-Link. I think it was GMK, where one of the HDMI ports was non-operative. So before doing any amount of configuration, I test each of the USB ports, each of the video ports, make sure everything's functional on it. All right, I'm about ready to shut down. If there's any message that I should have, that you want me to have seen, I probably am going to review messages after the show, or not after I finish with Ken Stout's show. And I have not seen Chris Garrett. So that's okay. He doesn't have to be there. You can play it for play your recording for him later. All right. Are the speaker bots back? From Alice. Yeah, my speaker bots. No, I haven't done the exclamation mark D. You cannot just interrupt me with a long random conversation. Thank you, Ken, for doing that. Okay, here we go. Out of here. I'll be on Ken's Zoom in just a few minutes. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.